Hi Pisces, this is your reading for March 2019. Thank you for joining. Please set aside anything that you're doing and just put all your presence with me here now for the reading to get the most out of your time with me. Focus on your breathing for a little moment. And while I'm shuffling, please check in with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to reach out to my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop to make sure that really clear and relevant messages come through that are especially tailored for you. As always, we're going to do a holographic mandala spread using the Morgan Greer deck and then follow it with a higher octave reading using the Voyager deck. So, Page of Pentacles crossed by the King of Wands, Two of Swords reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, Ten of Pentacles reversed, Queen of Cups reversed, Wheel of Fortune, Five of Cups reversed, the Fool, Five of Pentacles reversed, Page of Cups, Eight of Swords reversed, the Chariot, and Three of Swords. Okay. Pisces, let's have a look. There's an interesting combination of major arcana cards. There's quite a few people in this reading as well, so we'll get to that in a moment. But the overall feeling that I have here is that for many of you, you may have been over the first couple of months of this year processing a lot of data in your emotional body and in your mental field that may have taken quite some time to actually intellectually understand. I feel like there's a lot of emotional purging that's been going on, and some of that is actually painful. Like there has been a somewhat painful review in some areas of perhaps some experiences from the past that may have been disappointing or maybe hurtful in some way. I'm hearing also there may have been experiences that you've kind of been reviewing where you kind of felt like, how do I put that? It's like you kind of it's kind of like you had a review of things that may have happened in recent times where you felt like, I really could have done that differently, or I could have done that better, in a way that makes you feel a little bit of chagrin or some shame perhaps. But I feel like there's something beneficial in having spent the time reviewing those experiences and having that kind of moment to experience those emotions and have those sensations in a way that I'm hearing self-criticism, but it's not a negative. I'm not feeling this in a negative way. I'm feeling this in a very beneficial way. Perhaps in the moment when you were actually in that space of having that mental and emotional review of experiences from the past, it might have not felt so good, it might not have felt comfortable, but I feel like because you put that effort in to actually go back over things in a way to kind of, it's not about judging the self. What I feel here is that it's about viewing experiences from an unbiased, from a neutral place, even though, as I said, you may have experienced some discomfort in that moment while you were doing this review. But I feel like there has been a process of elimination via the process of viewing through a particular lens experiences of the past in a way that gives you kind of, it's like you're giving yourself your own critique in a way that enables you to, in a very rational and very practical and very reason-oriented kind of way, gives you the chance to understand how things played out in such a way that you don't necessarily have to repeat those same mistakes. And that's a really cool feeling. Like in the spreads here, you have two fives reversed, Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles, and that's where I feel that was kind of giving me that energy of like experiences from the past that you may have been reviewing that didn't necessarily feel good at the time when they happened, but they also necessarily didn't feel good in that process of examination that you went through. But because you did it, because you've done that, you have these cards here which feel like all these four cards at the top of the reading. You have the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords, both in the reverse position. But you see how in these cards, in the upright position, these two characters here are both in denial and they're both in fear and they're in self-sabotage mode. But because these characters are now in the reverse position, there is a liberation from that self-imposed self-delusion and paranoia and self-sabotage activity, because you've woken up to the behavior that actually put those binds there in the first place, and you're liberating yourself. That's why you have the Fool in the upright position as well. So all these cards at the top of the reading feel really light, even though, as I said, there's this feeling that comes with them of having been through that review process, which was maybe a little bit uncomfortable. But the end result that you come out with is that a feeling of fresh understanding. And this is your own card here. The Page of Cups is the Pisces card. So I feel like it's a kind of return to wholeness. It's a return to understanding. It's a return to your own creation process of, also just really feeling yourself, really feeling a sense of accomplishment of having kind of gone through something tough and come out the other side of it with a sense of well-being that is you feeling like you're getting much closer to home, in the sense of being able to understand yourself better, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, understanding how also to make your sensitivity be your strength. It's not something to shy away from. It's not something to feel afraid of. It's not something to try to avoid or shun or, shirk away from. Your sensitivity is your strength, and it's something very beneficial. That's a gift that you have. So, and I think that you're seeing that through this review process, that what once may have felt like a disadvantage or something that makes you feel really uncomfortable, you're getting a grapple on how to actually turn that gift into something that's really beneficial to you, that is something that you use to heighten your experience in life and make you feel like empowered rather than diminished. So other cards that are here. Now these 4 or 5 cards here at the bottom, I'll hold them up so you can see them. The Chariot upright with the 5 of Cups in reverse, and the 3 of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune. So all these cards here were lending themselves to the interpretation I gave earlier, whereby I felt like you were in a review process recently with regard to events from the past. And I feel that within that process you've been able to resolve and heal some wounds of feelings of hurt that were caused by someone else's words or actions. I feel that you've been able to process that information in a way where you can release the constraint that those words or actions may have imposed upon you. And in doing so, you've actually been able to open the heart. And you're also able to turn the wheel of your... It's like when I don't want to use the word destiny or fate, because I really don't believe in those things. I believe that we make our own way in life. And I think that with the Wheel of Fortune, the message here with the 3 of Swords is that because you put the effort in to spend time in review, to really look at this hurtful experience, to look at the pain that you've experienced and really work with it in a way to kind of bring it to the best possible place that it could bring you, like actually work with that energy and use the opportunity to help you grow and expand. That because you've done that and you've been able to, rather than close down the heart and constrict your energy and feel constrained and feel like any kind of obstruction in your life as a result of it, because you really went in there and you've faced these things, that's an effect, right? There was a cause and effect moment, and that's what the Wheel of Fortune is saying here. That you're changing the outcome of your own life because you're being more grown up in a way, and more of a evolved version of a human conscious person who's working with uncomfortable energies to actually process information in a way that it creates a heightened experience, because you're seeing it for what it is, which is an opportunity to grow and to expand and to learn and to develop more compassion and more wisdom, rather than letting it become some type of wound that sits within you that then causes you to, pass that pain on to someone else. Like you really alchemize and working with that energy to kind of make the most of the opportunity that's been presented to you. And then these cards here, same sort of thing. The 5 of Cups in reverse is this feeling of having been through some difficult experience where there was perhaps a loss or some kind of painful moment. But paired here with the Chariot, it feels like you are using your willpower, you're using your emotional intelligence to strive to understand the experience in a way that rises you up, that lifts you up, that grows you, rather than it being something that diminishes you or lets you kind of feel more kind of reasons to have obstacles in your way for having a bright light lifestyle or future that you want. So again, feeling very beneficial, kind of a feeling of having like really dug deep during this time. And then in the central axis of the reading here, you have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Pentacles at the center of the reading, crossed by the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups in reverse as the outcome card. For some of you, I guess, I mean, I would say that some of the energy that you've been processing at this time could have come from some kind of family member saying or doing something that may have been hurtful. Could have come from a parental figure. It could just be stuff that you may be thinking about, you have been thinking about for some time, that maybe behavioral patterns or things that you've been able to locate in yourself as far as kind of historical or ancestral type of genetic patterns that you have been wishing to kind of break the cycle on. And I feel like this Page of Pentacles at the heart of the reading, crossed by this King, and with the Queen here as well. And there is just like this feeling of family, like this familial kind of, what's the word? Heritage. It's a kind of heritage feeling here. But with this Page of Pentacles at the center of the reading, I feel that this describes very well. And with there's another page here in the reading, these two pages. I feel that these both describe you very well, where it is that, again, as I said, the Page of Cups here at the end of the reading in the outcome position shows very much that you're coming closer to home. You're coming closer to your own personal archetype and embodying sort of your own sort of all the things about being you that may have in the past felt like burdensome or difficult or challenging. You're starting to see them for what they are, which is that they are your gifts and talents, and that you can amplify those qualities, and it's going to make your life better, not worse. And I feel this Page of Pentacles at the center of the reading describes your commitment to this process of learning about yourself, of uncovering those gifts, of uncovering those truths, and really being committed to practicing, learning to embody them, and really dedicating and committing to being your authentic self. Beautiful reading here, Pisces. Well, that's it for the main part of the general spread. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Knight of Cups in reverse, Queen of Pentacles upright, Three of Wands in reverse, and the Empress upright. I love this like really strong divine feminine energy in the reading. You had this Queen of Cups here in the outcome position in the reverse, but I feel that was connected more to what I was describing earlier, with it being part of a review perhaps of experiences gone by with perhaps some people involved. But in these cards here, I feel that the Queen and the Empress here is describing you. The Queen of Pentacles upright and the Empress upright feel very similar in the energy. It's a very embodied divine feminine energy, a very physical, very grounded personality. And I feel that that's the place you're getting to now, where it's like you're making yourself a lot more available to spirit. And you're just more willing to kind of actively be what you're here to be, you know, like you're being available to energies, to cosmic energies that are coming through you, but with a committed effort, Page of Pentacles, to being grounded and being committed to your path that allows that kind of cosmic energy to really be anchored in through your unique frequency. And it's much needed. And there's no like right or wrong as far as timing, but it is just great that you're doing it. The sooner the better in this regard, in the sense that I think for some of you, if you keep battling against your own true nature, that's where you're going to feel suffering and struggle. Now here you have Knight of Cups in reverse and the Three of Wands in reverse. I feel that there's something there around, maybe this is a time where you're kind of looking for opportunities. Maybe there is in the mundane world perhaps that you might be looking for the next phase of what's going on for you in your life. You might have come through a stage where, like, maybe a cycle is closing out with work, or there's some kind of feeling here of like, what's next? And it's in some regard it feels like you're waiting for some offers to come from the outside to come towards you. But the feeling I have here is that it's more about you creating the opportunity for yourself by making some clear decisions, even if you don't know specifically what it is you want to do. The message here, and what's true always with with visualization and with law of attraction stuff, is that if you just start, even if it's a vague feeling, if you start to kind of get a sensation of how you want to feel and what you want your life to look like, then things can start to become more specific later on. But it's more about a shift within, where rather than you waiting for something to come to you and land in your lap, it's about you finding a sort of clarity within and having some time to kind of envision the next cycle, what you might want it to look and feel like, and start to embody some of that frequency and match your energy to that, so that it can come towards you that way. But it is about a vibrational shift within and recalibrating your internal frequency so that those things can come towards you. I feel that's it for the general reading. Let me just check over. I must say I'm very happy to see these 2 swords cards in reverse, the 2 and the 9. You know, these 2 cards have been lately coming out together a lot for many of the readings in the upright position, and I feel like when I see the cards this way, it says to me that individuals are not being honest with themselves, and that there is a self-delusion and a sense of like paranoia and anxiety and sort of self-sabotage going on. When I see them in reverse, I'm very happy, because I feel that this is a real moment of clarity where you've taken the blindfold off, you've had an illumination, and you have a clear understanding of just what it is that you are creating. And so this feels very empowered to me. This feels very empowered. As well as seeing these 2 5s in reverse, I feel like that process of actually taking the time to review your actions and your words or your experiences of recent times, and just giving yourself a critique in a way that helps you understand how best to use your gifts and skills, and how to amplify your sensitivity in a way that is not only beneficial to you but to other people as well. And it feels very clear. It feels really clear to see those 5s there together. Even though, as I said, it may not have been a very comfortable time to kind of be in that process of review. But I do feel like you understood that it was worth the effort to put that time in, because you were not feeling good. And when you're not feeling good, if you try to avoid not feeling good, it doesn't go away. But I think what you've done is taken the time to actually go into those feelings and go into your experiences in a way that enables you to feel clarity about like your responsibility in those moments, in those words, in those thoughts, in those actions, in such a way that helps you remove some of those like self-sabotaging behaviors and those kinds of ingrained patternings and conditionings that may have been ancestral or may have been learned in early childhood, in such a way that allows you to turn the wheel of karma to create an entirely new script for yourself, for the future, for the outcome, for the next part of life. Because you're able to, with great lucidity and great clarity, witness yourself in a way that enables you to locate any glitches in the matrix and know that you're changing those things. You're updating and changing those programmings and conditionings to make way for new, more light, more evolved, more heightened activities and actions and thoughts that are a much greater resonant match with who you really are. And really embodying the sensitivity that you are. Not seeing it as a burden or as a curse in any way, but seeing it as a very powerful gift that is to be shared. Okay. And again, on this diagonal axis, so cool, you have the Fool with the number 10. So 0 and 10 from the Major Arcana. Both of these cards are saying that there is this moment here of clarity where you have this fresh beginning starting now. Where, you know, as I said, the wheel of karma is turning in a way that's more towards your benefit, where you've come out of a difficult time and feeling like an uplifting feeling of trust, of newness, of innocence, a return to innocence, a return to kind of come through a difficult moment with a restored sense of optimism and faith, and like the readiness and willingness to start a new cycle without the baggage of any past hurts or transgressions coming forward with you. Just clarity and newness and a fresh feeling of beginning again. Okay, let's take a look now with the Voyager deck for your higher octave reading. While I shuffle, please take a moment to blast the deck with your energy so I can get really clear messages for you. The Voyager deck and the higher octave reading is designed to give more insight on what's happening on a karmic and spiritual level. Hopefully providing a little bit more clarity on how to best move forward to work with the opportunities available and provide any advice or insight that we might need. So again, just send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. The Hierophant, crossed by the Ace of Worlds, the Emperor, Woman of Cups reversed. She was in the previous reading there, and in both readings they're in reverse. 10 of Cups, 8 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands, Strength, Priestess, all upright, beautiful. Woman of Wands reversed, Temperance reversed, 6 of Crystals reversed, and the 7 of Worlds reversed. Really interesting cards here. Pisces. The first thing that jumps out at me, of course, is that you have, again, a lot of major arcana cards here that are very strong archetypes of people who have specific type of like willpower and intuitive capacity that's kind of combined. So you have the Empress here, the Priestess, the Emperor, and the Strength card crowning the reading. These 3 cards here, all upright. And you have the Hierophant at the heart of the reading. Now, both the Hierophant and the Emperor together, it's interesting to see that in a reading. I feel that there's something here about, and again, with these 2 cards in the outcome position, you have the Priestess and the Woman of Wands, which, like the Priestess could very much be your archetype. It's a very intuitive person with a kind of knowing, although she's a little bit stoic. Pisces people are a bit more, emotive. But the Woman of Wands is also kind of similar Piscean energy, although this is fiery, but it's a very intuitive kind of feeling. And what I feel with these 2 cards being in the outcome position is that there is a type of awakening happening for some of you, where you're kind of, your sensitivities are being heightened, and your intuitive knowing and your psychic abilities may be getting a little bit of a boost. It's just something to go with. Lean into it, because that ability is naturally there, and it's just a question of like learning to use it a little bit more and practice with it, so that you start to feel really comfortable. Now, what else is here? We have 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 7 of Worlds, and 6 of Crystals reverse. What is this? I feel for some of you there's something here about education. I think that's what, the Hierophant and the Emperor here together could be suggesting that there is, for some of you, you may be considering like taking up some education. It could be something in a formal regard with actually going to a physical location like an institution. Some of you just may be simply undertaking your own type of study and committing further to a type of personal growth path, a spiritual development path, or some kind of like yoga or meditation practice, something unconventional, even though the Hierophant is something very conventional, as is the Emperor. I feel like for some of you there's this feeling here, being that it's crossed with the Ace of Worlds, that for some of you there's a feeling here of undertaking something very physical to enhance your sense of well-being, something that could be in a lineage of like a yoga practice. You might be going to a yoga school, you might be wanting to do some yoga teacher training, or some kind of education in a sort of like I'm hearing strict way, like there's some kind of discipline that's being applied here that you're choosing to undertake, but where you're kind of putting yourself in a position where you'll have someone kind of like guiding and mentoring and watching you, or applying discipline on you. That feels really good. All this part of the reading up here and then through the middle central axis of the reading feels very like there's a drive towards some kind of further furthering or exponentiation of the development that you've already experienced. Like for a lot of you watching this, I'm sure you're not new to any of this stuff, and it's not your first time, you know, hearing these kinds of words being used. But I feel like for some of you there is this like push now where you kind of really want to go further with things. You want to really take it up a notch, and there's a feeling of wanting to really expand and dedicate more deeply in a more committed way, with a more like I'm hearing preservation, something more long term. You may be looking to kind of actually undertake studies now in this field in order for you actually be able to kind of then yourself become a teacher or a speaker or a writer or something in these kind of areas. That's what the priestess and the Hierophant together is saying to me. And the Strength card together with the Temperance in reverse, it feels like there is some kind of like and even this central axis of the reading, I feel like there's something there for some of you around maybe some of you who may be wanting to undertake some kind of study or practice more seriously, or even it could even be like kind of maybe speaking to a therapist or undertaking some kind of either meditation courses or something along that line. There's a feeling here of something to do with again, familial or ancestral, or just like personal pain or personal growth, personal experiences that you wish to have more understanding about, that you want to uncover the true meaning of, that you want to kind of resolve or just like get some more clarity on. That's what I feel is there with the Strength and the Temperance card in reverse. And also the same feeling through the center of the reading here. It's like Ten of Cups in the past, which is kind of the family card, and then here you have this Eight of Cups, which is called stagnation here in this deck. So I feel like there's something for some of you there around like wanting to really, and we kind of talked about it in the previous reading, but maybe for some of you there is like a feeling of wanting to really take it further and uncover more deeper meaning of what those experiences that you've had mean for you in a deeper way, and how you can use those experiences to potentially evolve yourself, and then also turn that later on into like a way to kind of help and support others in their own awakening process. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what I just covered here with all these cards here at the bottom of the reading. There's, again, you have this Queen of Cups in reverse, which you had here in the previous reading there, and I felt like this card was representative of a family member, potentially a mother or some type of female presence in your life that was quite strong, where there was perhaps some kind of like I'm hearing emotional trauma, or just, you know, some kind of, it's not to say like that you're carrying some kind of like abusive memory that you're trying to work with, but it's just life stuff in general, you know, like the way that we were brought up has everything to do with the way that we are in the world as adults. And for some of us, I think there's a process of learning how to uncover ways in which to take the best of those things that we've learned from our ancestors, and how to minimize the things that are not that great, things that we pick up from the way we've been raised, and also from our ancestral lineage, which are things that actually become obstacles or hindrances or blockages or resistance to life. And it's our job as adults and as conscious people to figure out what those things are and how to eliminate them or minimize them so that we can have our best life. Bottom of the deck, nine of crystals in reverse, Five of Wands reverse, Tower reverse, and Sage of Wands reverse. Interesting. One thing I'm really noticing a lot in both spreads is this kind of sensation of opposites of colors. So look, in these two cards here, you have these blues and sort of reds. And then in these two cards, it's very orange and yellow. I don't know, there's a feeling of excuse me, polarity, and of, I'm hearing consequence. So yeah, I think that's a good word to describe it, and it's a feeling that I had in the previous reading when I was trying to describe what I felt with the Wheel of Fortune with regards to like not wanting to use the word destiny or fate, because I feel that's too dismissive, and it feels like it offloads responsibility into some other greater thing that we don't then own responsibility for our own path, our own future. And so that's what I feel with the word consequence there, is like what I feel that means is the actions that we take have consequences. So we can strive for the best. We can strive to turn every experience that we've had into something that we can use to grow from and to learn from. Whether it was something painful or whether it was something uplifting, it doesn't really matter. It can all be used in the same way to kind of, as I was saying, all those experiences that we've had, whether they were difficult and painful or whether they were uplifting, all of it is the same at the end of the day. It's all just experience. It's all just data and information that we can use to gain understanding, to gain wisdom, to gain compassion, to open to greater love, to open to wisdom and clarity and just unconditional love and confidence as well is what I'm hearing. So I hope that made sense for you guys, Pisces. Thank you for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. There was a lot of information there, so if you have time, do watch it again, and perhaps later on at the end of the month you could review it as well to see what jumps out at you after certain events have unfolded. You might find there's a lot more gems in there that will help you understand events after the month has gone by. So yeah, do take time to watch it again if you have time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when new readings are being uploaded. And I look forward to seeing you in next month's reading. Happy birthday.